Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Caves Cast podcast. I'm Jeremy,
And I'm Ryan.
and today we are going to be talking about The Power Fantasy by Kieron Gillen and Caspar Wijngaard. I
Yes,
think
sir.
that's how to say his name. Wijngaard? I don't
We
know. It's okay. It's not, it's whatever. This is a really great book, and we're going to get into it. Except I want to talk about DC's November solicits because they just dropped them like a couple hours ago.
for sure. I've
Um,
seen these yet, so
yeah, there's some good ones, man.
hey.
Um, so obviously the big one is Justice League Unlimited. The first issue of that series begins in November, and that'll see the like the return of the Justice League, the return to the Watchtower. There seems to be like this initiative to like kind of go back to like harken back to like older days, like kind of like that with the new logo and a lot of this like all
Right.
in initiative. Like it seems to be a really big push into trying to get like classic DC like
Yeah.
back out there. um I the solicitation itself for this is a bit of a spoiler,
Okay.
so I do want to talk about it, but I also, forewarning to anybody that will be watching, this does spoil something in the end of Absolute Power and the DC All In one shot.
Okay.
So I'll just read it as it is. It says, "The Watchtower rises. The Justice League is back and bigger than ever in the wake of Absolute Power and the DC All-In special. Darkseid's death has triggered a massive power vacuum in the DCU, and Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman must unite like never before and expand the Justice League to encompass every hero championing the forces of good in the face of incredible evil. As our heroes work to uncover the mystery of the Dark Lord's successor, Ray Palmer's Atom Project triggers a race between hero and villain to control the fate of metahuman abilities on planet Earth, which threatens to destroy everything the League has built. Worlds will live, worlds will die, and a surprise is waiting in store on the last page. Do not miss the dawn of a new era of justice. It all begins here."
So we haven't even seen Darkseid and Absolute Power yet. And in these next two issues, he's gonna die.
So it's kind of starting to come together. Are you're reading Task Force or no?
Yeah,
Did you read this week's?
I haven't, no. Not yet.
Okay. It kind of looks like that Waller is building a portal.
Like a boom tube?
Yes. And it would make sense given what was in Batman 151
Right.
with the boom tube there. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that she's trying to build like some kind of dimensional portal, whether it's time travel or universe hopping or outside of the source. Like we don't like what's outside of the source wall, like outside of the multiverse, like we don't know.
Right.
But it's clearly I kind of had a feeling that this was going to be part of the twist, is like there was going to be some kind of some things being built up in Absolute Power that might carry over into this, that is going to have some consequences.
Right.
It's nice to know that things are definitely looking that way.
Makes sense. I could see why Mark Wade would look at it in the bigger picture to
Which it's nice because I remember when they announced Absolute Power and we were like, it was kind of vague because I remember reading it being like the way that it was worded was like everything was going to be written by Mark.
yeah.
And I don't know if that was originally the plan and then things changed, or maybe it was never the plan and he was just the one who said, like, this is what every character is going to be doing during this event, but I want you to write it. You know what I mean? Like he gave him the outline and said, dialogue, whatever, like kind of like the
Right.
way that Ewing's been doing with all of his Venom stuff.
Right.
Is he has his sub writer or whatever, and he like oversees everything, and he says, okay, you can write these characters, but they have to touch on this, and this, and they have to end here, so that way we can put them where I need they can be where I need them to work on them when this series starts. So I imagine that this is like something that he's really, really fine tuned, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the first big one. It's just that like I read that and I was like, okay, that was really interesting. I was not expecting it to be like Darkseid's death.
Yeah, last time we saw Darkseid die, I think, was Final Crisis. So
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't he was like turned into a baby in Darkseid War, right?
yeah, he just got turned into an infant, yeah, but he
Yeah.
basically got back to normal right after Death Metal. He
Well,
was
yeah, well, no, Metal happened and he was still the baby. And then after Metal, it was like he was like stupid sexy Darkseid in
yeah,
Justice League Odyssey. Like it was weird. Like
yeah,
I mean, I guess if you're gonna have Step and Sajic draw those characters, you may as well give them a cool design.
right.
uh
Super fun.
Absolute Superman comes out. Number one comes out in November.
Stoked.
I'm interested. It's curious that they're putting Superman as the last release for these three because Absolute Batman comes out in October. Absolute Wonder Woman comes out at the end of October, but Absolute Superman does not come out until November.
Right. I feel like that's probably intentional because it's like this universe is the underdog universe, so it's
Yeah,
probably focusing more on Batman first and then
yeah. I do like. Okay, so like the first issue, we kind of really got the concept of what it is really. I think is that's what the first issue will be. Like this is a Batman that doesn't have money, doesn't have the mansion, doesn't have his butler, whatever. But issue number two, the solicitation for this is really cool. It says Batman was born out of violence, a horrible tragedy that shaped the trajectory of his future. But when a vigilant MI6 agent starts tracking the lonely life of Bruce Wayne, he discovers an interconnectivity between a hero's shell life and the many layers of the Black Mask Gang. It's Batman versus Alfred Pennyworth.
what?
That's gonna be sick, dude.
What? Batman versus Alfred Pennyworth?
Yeah, look at the main cover, bro.
Dude, that is dope.
They're
Okay,
gonna
so
fight,
they're
dog.
really just throwing this. Okay.
It's
Wow.
gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be hella cool.
Wow. That's something I did not expect.
Yeah, and then Batman is just without the fortress, without the family, without a home. What is left is the absolute Man of Steel. Um, this looks so cool, bro.
It does. I love like
That doesn't help.
I
Yeah,
love the you got to turn the brightness down, I think. Oh
yeah,
yeah, that thing is sick. There it is. My
yeah,
girl.
dude. It's sick, bro. It's just a Buster Sword, bro. It's cool.
It is. That's so
Um, and this is cool. Okay, so like the solicitation for Wonder Woman
okay.
is Gateway City has never seen anything like the Harbinger Prime, the enormous ravenous monster that has just risen from the depths of the ocean to darken its shores. But the Harbinger has never seen anything like the unstoppable Diana, princess of the underworld.
So
And
this sounds like to me, it sounds like it's like God of War 3, where he's going to Hades and
dude,
you know what I mean? Like that's really what it sounds like to me.
I it's gonna be so cool, bro. It's gonna be hella cool.
Like Kelly
Like
Thompson's gonna kill it. Kelly Thompson is gonna
I know. It was so funny because like I posted that thing last night about like my top 10 writers or whatever, or just
yeah.
like telling people to tell me theirs. Like, and one of them was like one of the responses was like Ryan North, Jed McKay, and then I was like, if I had an 11, 15, if I like if we could extend this 11 to 15, they'd be on there. She's on there, bro. Like
Yeah.
100%. She's on there.
Yeah.
She's just been hitting banger after banger after banger. Like,
I'm actually gonna start collecting those Birds of Prey books because I'm hearing
yeah,
nothing but amazing.
I'm gonna read it in trade, I think. Like it's already like too deep. I think I'm just gonna read it in trade. But everything else she's like I'm fooling myself now because like next week Black Cloak comes out and that's like the image book that she's been doing.
Okay.
I'm definitely getting the next the next
Yeah.
issue after this. Like I'm who am I kidding?
Yeah.
Like I told myself I was like I'm gonna try out the first one and it'll probably be okay and like the part of that story that I was interested in like is over so maybe I'll just be done after that. Nah, bro.
Yeah. She's
I was
been
like
so consistent.
yeah,
It's
I was looking at my pull list yesterday too and I'm like some books are ending in September. I can be done. I can afford to stop like some of these books. And then I'm like, oh, Black
yeah.
Cloak is back. Like this is back. These are coming out. I'm like, damn it, man.
Yeah. This absolute universe is gonna kick my ass
Yeah, dude.
because that's automatic like 6 pulls just for that.
Yeah, they're like $5 a piece.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
It hurts, bro.
it does.
Um, Batman is there's like a million Batman issues coming out in November. Like literally the next six of them. Here, we'll go down the line. You've got Detective 1091, Batman 50, Batman 155, Batman 156,
Is it still
Batman
Zdarsky?
yeah,
Okay.
Batman Offworld number 6. Uh
Finally.
yeah, Superman 20, which is second issue of the Dan Mora
Oh
art
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be Lois is Superwoman.
Cool.
So any kind of like you know, doubt that that it wasn't her is gone because it is her.
Sounds like Josh Williams is tapping into All Star Superman. So.
Yeah, and Dark Doomsday is back.
Oh yeah. Well, we kind of saw that at the end of House of Brainiac, right?
Yeah, it was
Where he
like
was like
alluded
punching
to, but
through the like the gates of
yeah,
hell or whatever.
like the actual cover and the solicitation show that he's back. So,
Okay.
um, Wonder Woman 15, it seems to be like kind of the last stretch for the Sovereign
Okay.
stuff. Um, Action Comics will be the Mark Waid, Mariko Tamaki weekly, the 4 part.
Who's doing the art for that?
Clayton Henry,
Okay.
Michael
He's all,
Shelfer.
he's all right.
Yeah, it's Clayton Henry, Michael Shelfer, Skylar Patridge is doing all three. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. It looks like the backup for these will probably be different each issue. But
Oh,
either way. Um Torin Groenbeck is now taking over on Catwoman, whatever.
okay.
Um, so no more Teenie Howard. She's off both books, actually.
And Harley? Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw that. I was like, okay, interesting. But
who's
whatever.
doing Harley?
It's on here. I'm not. I can't remember who it was.
Okay.
Nightwing, Dan Waters, Dexter Soy is the artist. We were talking about that yesterday.
I don't know who that is.
He did. I want to say he did. He's done some Red Hood stuff. I think he got really, really popular for a design for Red Hood that he did on Instagram. I think it was like a ninja inspired design.
Okay.
But yeah, he's done that. He's done like that Red Hood stuff. I think before. Harley Quinn. Elliot Kalin is the new writer.
Huh.
No idea.
Yeah.
Whatever. G. Willow Wilson still writing Poison Ivy.
Good.
John Layman, Pete Woods art. John Layman writing Pete Woods art on Titans.
Yeah. I'm gonna be dropping that.
Yeah, Birds of Prey still Kelly Thompson.
Good.
New Batgirl book by Tate Brumble for Cassandra Cain. So that might be
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
Yeah, Tate Brumble's a pretty good writer.
Yeah.
Dark Age is ending in November.
Okay.
New Green Lantern stuff. Stills are Monaco and Adams.
Nice.
Hal and John Stewart are now gonna take the fight to the United Planets. So it seems to be ramping up there. Green Arrow, Chris Condon, art by Montos. Doesn't really seem to indicate that he's had a falling out with the league, so I'm not sure what's going to go on with that. If nothing comes of this, or it's just like a, hey, I helped you guys at the very last second to save the day, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed because then it's like, why the hell did we do all this?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because the way
He,
I looked at it was like from Green Arrow's book was like Arrow was working for Waller for his family, more or less, to save his
yeah,
family.
I mean, yeah, and then it turned into, well, I think Waller's right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like okay, like, and if he does double back and he's just like a hero and gets off scot free, like there have been people that have been like literally shunned from the community in DC
Yeah.
for like less.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break, you know? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
But Flash number 15, um, it says some new arc. As the Flash moves between his new role on the Watchtower and the family vacation, he comes across an old foe in a surprising place. Also, Irie West has a hunch her father is sneaking off during the trip, and she is going to find out just where he's going.
Huh.
So more, you know, some bait to get you in on the story some more.
Yeah.
Mike Del Mundo's doing the cover, new artist, so it will not be
Ramon
Ramon
Perez.
Perez. But I like this cover a lot. This is a really nice cover. This is I'm not sure who the artist is, but
Okay.
let me see. It's like, hold on. It kind of reminds me of Simone DeMio, but it's not.
Oh,
It's just like it's a lot cleaner. You know, it's not like all
yeah.
the shattered glass and all that stuff or the bubbles.
Right.
It is Oscar Yildirim. Never heard of him. Okay, either way, looks cool. Should be fine. More Batman and Robin. That's Philip Kennedy Johnson and Javier Fernandez on art for that.
I don't think I know him either.
Me either. I know Javier Rodriguez. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Batman Year One, number two, Mark Waid and Samney.
Wait. Oh, what?
Batman and Robin Year One. Sorry, I'm
Okay, I
super.
was like, what?
Yeah. Let's see. Batman Superman World's Finest. The end of the Eclipso arc.
Huh.
And I really do think that we could be seeing the end of this book pretty quick.
Probably. With him
I'm
doing
thinking,
League
I'm
Unlimited eventually.
thinking, I'm thinking maybe 34 or 35 will be the end.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's reasonable, and I think that's kind of what we had said we would have been
Yeah.
fine with. Like a 30 issue run of this would have been okay.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, like I'm surprised it lasted this long, but it's been a hell of a book, bro.
It has.
Like, so if it ends here, like it's okay. I'm okay with that because it had really, I would rather it end on like a solid arc and it's like a quick wrap up, and we got a bunch of really good arcs with Wade and more like prior to that,
Yeah.
and then to have it stretch on and let it keep doing its thing. But it's also possible that somebody else takes over the book after Wade leaves.
Right.
We'll see. So because they may not even end the book, it could just be carrying over to a new art to a new writer, come the end of the year.
Right.
Um, Raven the Bold, Long Halloween, Last Halloween, Echoes, Black Lightning's getting a new series. JSA by Jeff Lemire. This is the one I wanted to talk about the most, I think. He's bringing like everybody into this, bro. Like this is like a new Wade's doing it with like Unlimited. Lemire's doing it here with JSA. Like the fact that it took this long for them to say, let's just put everybody on these teams. Like that should have been a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But and the covers for this are so good, dude. Like the Lemire cover
Well,
for
good on DC for getting Lemire back.
I know, man. The Lemire cover for DC is for JSA is so good, bro.
That is dope. Damn.
Yeah, he did a wraparound cover for it.
Damn.
I mean, you have to actually be a fan of like his art, like it's a kind
Right.
of
His style.
yeah, he's very stylized, but like it's just cool because it's got the whole lineup there.
Right.
Black Canary, best of the best. That'll be sick. The Question, all along the Watchtower. The Question's getting a series. Renee Montoya,
Who's writing that?
Alex Segura, and Cian Tormey is doing. Alex Segura writing, Cian Tormey on art.
Okay.
Shazam, still Josie Campbell. Power Girl, still Leah Williams. That seems to be really it, honestly. My Adventures with Superman ends. Uh, Jeremy Adams will be writing a story in the Penguin special to get ready for the show.
Okay.
They announced a sequel to Batman Santa Claus, Silent
Yeah, I
Night.
saw that. I saw Dan Mora post about that.
Yep, Silent Night Returns will be starting in November.
I'll be getting that.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I enjoyed the first one.
Same.
Just the Elseworld stuff, Gotham by Gaslight, All Winter, DC Vampires. Milestone is getting a one shot or maybe a four-part miniseries. Plastic Man, Batman Full Moon, Constantine, Hellblazer, last issue, Jenny Sparks, House by the Sea. Yeah, that's really about it. I mean, everything else is just kind of like trades and reprints and stuff. But
Right.
there's a lot of cool stuff for
Yeah.
like new books, man. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited for DC
Same.
come the fall. But let's get into this. We probably don't have
Sure.
a lot of time left, but banging ass first issue, bro.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I had to read it twice because, like I said, it's hard for me to get into indie comics because it's like I have to get to know characters. I have
Yeah.
to, and it's not like
Yeah.
pre-established characters. You have to get to know characters. So
Right. And it's not like that, like it's not like it's a character that you can go back like 20 years ago and be like, hey, I can read a little bit of content and like get
yeah,
like familiarize myself with them. Right.
right. So that's why like a little bit of the disconnect happens with me in indie books. But the first time reading it, I was a little confused because just the smart way that Gillen does his dialogue, where you're like, is what's this main guy's name? I keep forgetting it. It's like
Etienne or whatever.
yeah, Etienne. Because you never know. Like he kind of
Yeah, so
talks
like
about ethics. He talks about ethics, but then jokes about like, hey, I could kill everybody too. But then he talks about ethics again, and then it's like,
yeah,
you
like
know,
yeah, because he like okay, so it's I think this is going to very much be like a character driven book, and the marketing for it alluded to that too, just because the way that they describe like the way that it was constantly being like promoted was like there are six people in the world that have superpowers. And then they give you the definition of a superpower for this book, and it's anybody that has the destructive capabilities of America's nuclear warheads, essentially, you know? So like, and then the world existing depends on them never coming into conflict with one another.
right,
Um, so it really does become like this question of can all of humanity trust six people to not fight and not like basically screw us all?
right,
So like it does become a question of ethics, and Etienne is like that character that says like jokingly, hey, I really could just kill everybody and it not be a big deal, you know? He's
right,
like, but I'm a good person, so I won't do that. But you know, as we we'll get into the story, he kind of there's an opposite to him that says, okay, you need to stop pretending you're a good person and start just like start working on yourself and like being what this world needs us to be.
right.
And we meet her really like in the first couple pages with him, but like
Valentina, right? Yeah,
really interesting power dynamics with these
yeah,
characters, man. Like straight from the get-go, because it's like years ago, like they're like this is like decades ago when they meet and they're like, figuring things out and learning like what it means to have these abilities and all this stuff. And then we're fast forwarded to present day, and it's like there are even people that have been born since that have abilities, but they're not like superpowers or like
right,
heroes. Like it's like the girl that's like interviewing Etienne. She has like the light up fingernails. Like that's the extent of her abilities. So she's not
right.
even it kind of it really it evolves into a mutant type of thing really fast.
Well,
Where
there's
like
Omega mutants and mutants. Like,
right. Like,
yeah,
like the Morlocks are a good example of people like that, where they're like kind of like nothing burger characters. They don't really have these like powerful abilities that they can save the world or they can protect the weak. Like they're just kind of like unfortunately born with these abilities, and now they have to suffer like all the negative
right,
backlash from having them. Like it's cool, like it's a party trick. It's not necessarily anything more than that.
right.
So I even like that how fast Gillen was like, look, we even have like it's even like this thought out. Like there's even lower tier like abilities here, but like and man, like I could just talk about the rest of this book forever.
So, do you think that's just Gillen being like, all right, I still got like X-Men in me to write?
I
Like,
mean, it's possible because he wrote X-Men in the past. Like he wrote some stuff before Krakoa.
right. But it
So
just feels so X-Men after his X-Men,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, definitely. I'm more inclined to think that he's maybe just like, hey, like maybe after working on X-Men for the last couple years, he was like, you know what? He's like, maybe I'm gonna try my hand at like my own X-Men story, like you said.
Well,
You know,
I think
say that. Good.
one of the most like defining, I think, like Gillen moments in this was when basically that like hippie atomic guy comes down and he's like, like I want to wipe this state off the country, and he's like,
Yeah.
wow. And he's like, why? He's like, because you got this like Republican in who's just all for guns, and like people are,
Yeah.
like people are dying, and basically like to prevent them from fighting, basically, Etienne basically says, what can I do to
Yeah.
ensure that you won't kill a bunch of people and that we won't fight and kill a
Well,
bunch
right. I mean, well, that and that comes right after like the big moment of the issue
yeah,
where this country that just had this person put in power launches a fucking laser
yeah,
straight through him. Like, so not necessarily realizing that he literally can form himself back together.
right,
So at that point, he's like, all right, they made the first move. So it's like, it's go time, you
right,
know? And yeah, it's crazy, man, because like even right before that moment, you have them like him trying to reach out to the other superpower saying, "Hey, like,
Yeah.
can you guys help me? Like, otherwise I have to step in, and the only way to prevent it is going to be like not so good, you know?"
Yeah.
It's cool to see everybody be like, "I'm busy, man. Like, nah, I'm okay. Like, I
Well, I
can't."
like that Valentino was like kind of like above the earth and was like, I'm watching for nukes. I'll
Yeah,
watch. I'll basically take out any nuke
right.
that's
And she's really playing into that like goddess angel role that they established from the get-go, you know, like her
right.
conversation with Etienne when they're having pizza was like, you know, I'm a goddess or I'm an angel, like, and not in a way that I'm like above these people, but like because I have these powers and because like I'm charged with this, like it's my responsibility to protect them.
Right.
So like she's like the hero of this book, whereas Etienne really seems like he's the wild card. I think he's going to be the wild card out of everybody
Right.
because like some of the other characters like Eliza, you kind of can already tell she seems like she's a little bit on the darker side of things.
Right.
No, and you have Masumi, who's like the girl with the pink hair, the painter girl.
Yeah.
She
That was a
seems
dope.
she's
That was dope painting too. Or she
yeah,
was.
yeah. And I wonder if that's going to have something to do like with imagery, man. Like Gillen is
Yeah.
really smart about that kind of stuff. So I wonder if this painting will have some kind of significance. I don't know.
Right.
Um, but yeah, she's very neutral, wants to stay out of it. You know, she's Switzerland and all this. And then you've got Magus, who's like basically like, fuck off, man. Like, leave me
Yeah.
alone. I'm trying to do my own stuff. And he's like, if they go for it, of course we'll do it. Like, but basically he just wants to be left alone to do his own thing.
Right.
But then you've got, I can't remember his name. Oh no, it was Texas that did it. It wasn't even a country.
Right. It was Texas. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm dumb. I thought it was a country. I was
Because that's
stupid.
why he says he shows up there. He's like, I want to
Yeah.
get rid of this state because of
Yeah,
this
like,
gun
yeah, what do you
loving.
need to not throw Texas into orbit, he says.
Yeah. Basically.
Uh, I can't even find his name. Either way, he's like the rebel of the group, you know?
Yeah. But he's like the hippie
Oh,
also.
Heavy. Heavy is his
Heavy.
name. Heavy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Well,
he's like the hippie. The
he has like gravitational manipulation abilities and stuff like that. And he's the one that's protecting all of the what they call the atomics. They're all the people that like have abilities but aren't superpowers.
right.
So he feels like he's charged with protecting, like literally protecting his people. He's like almost like the Magneto of
Right.
this of
Taking
this
care of the
series.
academy. Yeah. Like
Yeah. So like whereas you have Etienne who see like it already like it turns into like an X-Men comparison
yeah,
almost. Like
already
with
with
your very Charles
Xavier.
Xavier,
Yep.
right? You have your Jean Grey with Valentina upstairs, you know.
Yep.
You've got some more sinister characters, you know, maybe not you can't really consider Magus or Eliza or Masumi any of those characters. You can't really call them like straight out villain, characters, but Heavy for sure is like the Magneto archetype.
Yeah.
So like it's cool stuff, man.
It is.
Really, really cool.
And I love it too because like the way it just ends too, and it's like he's like, "Well, I just killed the president." I imagine that that's not going to be looked
Yeah.
looked
Yeah,
at.
because like basically they came to the agreement of like, hey, like what is it going to take for you to not like basically blow Texas off the face of the planet? And
Right.
he's like, well, they have to understand that like we aren't messing around. He says, okay, I want you to kill the president. So they kill the president of the United States.
Yeah, and then he kills like everybody with the president, and then it's like, "I want you to kill all their family members," and then it's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very Gillen. I thought this was like I feel
Please.
like this is like
Okay, okay. Uh,
this is the
sorry.
Krakoa I feel like he wanted to write. Like this is
Yeah.
the X-Men he wanted to write.
Yes, because and the thing is like he's killing. Okay, like I do want to touch on that moment where he's killing everybody. Still, he's like when he's just going on, he's like killing the president, killing the people that were there, killing everybody that could find out, and then he says, "I want you to kill their families," and he says no,
Yeah. That
and he
would be
said, "All right," he's like, dude, like don't be a wimp. He's like just their direct family, and then Etienne hits him with this. Let me hit you with a counter proposal. I'll take their families if I can kill every member of your family I can find.
and
So
he's
it's
like, "No."
interesting to
Yeah.
even to this point, Etienne is like, I have to maintain this ethical, like,
Right.
he's like, so if you're going so far as to wanting to have me kill family members, like those family members that are truly innocent, we now have to kill your family members that if I can hunt them down.
Yeah, he's literally God. He's playing God. He's like, you
Yeah,
want
and
me
and
to
even and even Heavy calls Ziv bluff. He's like they're your family. You wouldn't dare. And he's like, oh, I was like, brother, I would. He's like,
right.
I certainly would.
Because it
He
almost
even
feels
said
like
it's
he
the
doesn't
most.
really like it almost feels like Etienne has like he accepts the responsibility, but he knows how much of a burden like
Yeah,
this is.
yeah, yeah. Like he even says, like in the situation, it's the ethical thing to do.
Exactly.
And it's so funny. He repeats it again and again and again and again in this book.
It makes me wonder though, does he think it's ethical, or does he just kind of black and white say like that's
Yeah.
not, or does he believe it? Does he feel it, or is he just
See,
following the
and
code?
that's why I think he's the wild card, man. He's going to be the most interesting character in this book because there's going to be a moment where he's pressed and he's going to have to make an unethical decision or
Yeah.
what he deems as unethical, but it's going to save some lives or it's going to
Or it's gonna be unethical versus unethical, and he has to go with the least unethical.
yes.
You know,
Yes,
it's
it's
like
gonna be but the somebody who's always chosen the high road essentially now has to choose the lesser of two evils.
right.
Oh, I can't. It's gonna be such a great like fall from grace for some of these characters, bro.
Oh, I know. Because you already know there's going to be
Can't
beef between
wait.
the six of these. The six of these
I'm
going to be
so
beef.
excited, bro. Like okay. It's funny because like when Once in Future started, and it was, I'll and we've talked about this a million times, and I'll keep talking about it just because it's like my favorite thing in comics. But
Yeah.
like when that series started, and it was just announced as a 6-issue miniseries, and then like day one it drops, and it's announced as a like to push to an ongoing. And it starts getting like announced reprints and all these things and everything was going on like I knew from that second, man, like and even like up through that whole series like it was just consistently good that Gillen was somebody to look out for, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and he already was like he had by that point he had already started writing Die. He had written The Journey into Mystery Run with Kid Loki. He had written Young Avengers. He had already done a bout with X-Men. Like he had done quite a bit of stuff
Right.
prior to that. But like when he announced this book, I was like 100% confident. I was like, this is going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah.
It was, bro. It was. So if anybody has like heard anything about this book, and if you're even remotely interested in superheroes or X-Men, or X-Men in particular, or just like, you know, character drama, but with like some sci-fi stuff thrown into it, I 1,000% recommend this book. Like this book is like, or even if you're tired of like Marvel and DC, but you still want a really like strong superhero story, or something that has like that kind of feel to it, get this book.
Yeah.
Like it is for just a first issue, it is really, really, really good.
A lot happens in this first issue.
Yes.
This
Like,
issue
and
felt like
it's chock full of stuff, man.
yeah.
Like it sets the ground, like it introduces you to 6 characters. It introduces you to multiple subplots. It introduces you to a lot of events and references a lot of events that have happened in these people's lives that we're probably only going to get to learn more about later on.
And we're probably going to see, because these characters are older in current, so we're going to probably
Yes.
see these flashbacks to when they first
Yes.
met in the 60s, what they
Yes. And like
did throughout.
exactly. And then we're probably going to see how the rise of the atomics came about and how so many of these people were born.
Right.
Because it's we still don't really understand how they got these powers.
Exactly.
So everything is still like so much in the dark, but we were given so much to visually to look at,
Yeah.
to read, to learn about. Like this, I don't want to make the comparison right out the gate just because we are on a new like X-Men like initiative.
Yeah.
But if this had been Jed McKay's X-Men #1, that shit would have been the best X-Men number
Yeah.
one in years, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like this book is leagues and bounds like far like way better than whatever X-Men is doing right now.
100%. I agree.
Like like Gail Simone's X-Men, don't get me wrong, that was really, really, really good. But
Right.
this is just
This
on a
this
whole other level, bro.
this
Like,
one issue is doing more than the 5 X-Men titles can. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Like, and that has like a universe already built into it. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
for a brand new universe and a brand new title to like be a smash hit from the get, especially it being compared to X-Men the way that it has been. Everybody should get on this book like ASAP before it starts selling out and you can't get copies. But
100%.
that's it. That's all we got time for, y'all. Peace out.
Later on, guys.
Power Fantasy Alive.
Hey.